So Dominick, how would network care help you to feel more safe in your body and in your life?
Well, that's huge. I mean, how many people in a relationship, not because they have this amazing spiritual connection with this person, their needs are met, they feel that they're more of a person, they're more inspired as a result of the person who they're with in relationship, but instead they're there because that was the best opportunity that they had. It was the best thing at the moment. So they settled. So, people that have a high need for safety, they have a lot of fear in their body. And the more we work with them to help them come out of that fear consciousness, the less of a need they have for safety, the more risks they're willing to take, and the more success they typically have. And they would never, someone who doesn't lead with fear would never settle for something unless there was something that served them and everyone involved. So I think our humanity, our country, your community, everybody needs you to step up and live to who you are in your nature, because that's the whole reason why we're here.
That's very powerful.
And doing the consciousness exercises that Corey has available on his website, as well as network care, the two together, very powerful tool to help people work through their wounds and show up in their nature. And fear is not our nature. Accessing it is natural. Staying in it is not.
So the consciousness exercises help you get in touch with your emotion, move your energy and your emotions and tap in?
Well, the consciousness exercises are natural rhythms that people have that help you resolve wounds and trauma. So, for example, there's a time and a place to be fearful. There's a time and a place to be in your power and say, enough of this. There's a time and a place to be enlightened and just feel connection and compassion between you and everyone around you. Just amazing compassion. But then there's a time when you need to not be so compassionate and be mama bear when someone is harassing one of your little kids or your baby. So there's a time and a place for all of it. The consciousness exercises, we help you rehearse availability to each one of the 12 consciousnesses so that you could develop your weaker area. And if you want to know what your weaker area is, look at what's going on in your life. Are you stuck? You repeat the same problems? Do you have addictive personality? Do you have abusive relationships? Well, that tells me what's going on in the person's life tells me volumes about what consciousness they don't have much developed or have a need for more development so that they could show up in a way that they need to be more and serve more.
Is each stage a specific area of emotion, or are they kind of mixed?
Yeah, absolutely. So each stage of the 12 stages of consciousness, they have a different rhythm and a different gift and a different way of showing up. And what I often share with clients is not that any one is better than the other, but which one is more appropriate, and are you able to access it when needed at that moment? Right. So the ability to access the different stages of consciousness throughout any given day determines how successful you're going to be, whether or not people trust you, whether or not they like you, whether or not you're going to make decisions that work for you.
So it changes day to day, week to week?
Moment to moment.
Moment to moment.
Ideally, moment to moment. And I would say the more flexible you are with the different states of consciousness, the more available they are and the more flexible you are, the more you can shift gears. So if you're driving through traffic, which gear is appropriate? Well, when the red light turns green, maybe first gear, right? Then as you get going, second, third, fourth, when you get into the parking spot, reverse. So it's the flexibility to access all these different gears that you want. But driving around in first gear is not only not fun, it's not ideal. So it's the flexibility and availability. And I promise you, if you have a challenge accessing one of the states of consciousness, you definitely have a challenge in your finances, you have a challenge in your relationships, you have a challenge in your health, because it shows up pretty consistent.
So if you can get tapped in, then it helps you manage those areas of your life better? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Well, you're showing up appropriately so that you can get the gift and the experience and not only serve you, but serve everyone else involved.
Okay. I need help with whatever stage helps finances and love and relationship. What would that be?
It's actually the top vertebra, the one that showed up on film, the fear. C1 is not only fear as a general state, but it also closely corresponds to time and money issues, where they feel like there's not enough time, too much to do, not enough support. Money tends to be a challenge for them as well.
If you have a relationship problem, like say you're in a bad marriage, or you have a conflict, where does that show up?
Well, it depends on the conflict. So
There's varying stages.
there's varying stages.
Yeah.
So is it a challenge with standing up for yourself?
Yeah.
Are you in an abusive relationship with an alcoholic who knocks you around every now and then, who takes money out of your account, who, then obviously that would tell me the person has a challenge with the stage 4 consciousness, which is drawing a line in the sand and saying enough of this. Because at the end of the day, you're enabling that person's behavior, and the reason why that person is in a relationship with you is because they could get away with that crap.
You're allowing it.
You're allowing it. And if you don't allow it, that person will either change or disappear,
Nice.
whichever